I'm in the southwestern province of Guizhou, in a territory designated as the Miao and Dong prefecture. This is one of the homes of the Gum people, known as the Dongzu in Chinese, and one of the country's 55 recognized minority groups. The largest Gum village in Guizhou is Zhaoxing, with a history of 500 years and a population of 5,000 people. It's a farming community that depends also on tourism. They attract visitors by putting the old world lifestyle in a living, breathing display for the world to see, alongside of which are modern conveniences like souvenir shops, restaurants, cafes and hotels.
Some of the buildings behind me are actually quite new, but the people here are encouraged to maintain their traditional methods because that helps bring in visitors, but also to preserve the notions of their own heritage.
You need to pass through Zhaoxing to get to smaller villages, which are more authentic but less accessible because of the rugged landscape. Tang'an is one such village. It's only 5 kilometers away, but it takes an hour to get through on winding mountain roads. Tang'an is about 1,000 meters above sea level and home for 800 people. I'm here to celebrate the Harvest Festival, a time to give thanks for the year's bounty. Their main crop is rice. This flourishes in wet fields that have been terraced from the sides of mountains. These rice fields are sometimes a distance away from the village. Tang'an is about 700 years old and is squashed into a narrow valley surrounded by mountains, on which grow Chinese firs. It's this wood that's used to construct their multi-storied homes, as well as their famous bridges, completed with the much-admired Gum carpentry skills. More like a covered corridor, it's called the Wind-Rain Bridge, as it provides shelter for weary passers-by. Decked out with benches, it's a place to socialize and rest. Also known as flower bridges, there are at least 50 of these that crisscross rivers and rice fields in the county. Tang'an's singular bridge, set against rice fields, is a statement about the village's Gum identity. Another significant structure in a Gum village is the drum tower, made to the same exacting construction standards. Built entirely of wood, the multi-tiered tower is held together by intersecting beams and panels without nails or rivets. This is a costly structure to erect, and the more drum towers there are in a village, the wealthier it is. Tang'an has one, and it's the most important place for the community. Gum people worship many gods, and their deities live in the drum tower, so it's a sacred place. In Tang'an, the drum tower is surrounded by a public square, and around that, pools of water.
The drum tower is an iconic feature of Gum culture, but it's also the center of village life. They do everything here. They play cards, they sing songs, they celebrate their festivals, and they mourn their dead.
It's here that all the events of their Harvest Festival will take place, and it's here that community meetings are held and decisions are made. One of the most important decision makers in the village is the Gui Shi, quite literally the ghost master and geomancer. He is consulted for the orientation of all structures, for the living and the dead.
We've been in this village for several days, but it's taken me until now to notice there's a bunch of graves right in the middle of it. And the reason they all look quite randomly assembled is that actually every factor, including their placement and their timing and even their direction, is determined by the village geomancer.
Mr. Luo is Tang'an's oldest ghostmaster, whose guiding principle is feng shui, the ancient philosophical laws that harmonize people, structures and environment.
Tang'an村是按风水盖的吗？
跟风水来的，大多数坐南朝北嘛。这个的原来老古老代的这样做的嘛， 按这边嘛就种下。
那个侗族风水跟汉族的风水是一样吗？
一样啊，
一样。
随便老也好，南也好，都是风用的话，阳节、阴节都是一样的，书上是一样的嘛，是这样的，地理书都是一样的嘛，啊，没有哪样差别的，差别不了。
Mr. Luo's fascination for feng shui began when he was a teenager. Now 90 years old, he draws upon a wealth of handwritten notes and drawings for divination.
你可以帮我算命吗？
可以算吗？
可以吗？你算命的时候有什么方法？
我没有什么办法。
啊，哦，你就是看的嘛？哦。
The only piece of information he needed was my date of birth.
你这个人良心善良，没有我的心善良，你也长寿。辛亥年属于金运，你那的话不多82岁。
82岁。
以后你有2个崽。
两个男孩子。
有2个崽，跟你送终。
真好。
寿命82。
82。